So the Oceania Cyber Security Centre, in short, OCSC, works with countries in the Pacific on their national cybersecurity. And we use a model which is called the Cybersecurity Maturity Model for Nations, in short CMM, to really cover the breadth of the topics that the government needs to care for in cybersecurity. So if a country wants to improve their cybersecurity, they should look for an evidence-based approach. So they should really understand where they are in that situation and then identify the areas they want to focus on. And in order to do that, a model like the CMM is really valuable because it provides a really comprehensive view on the current status of the country.
We had the CMM review given to us earlier this year. One of the biggest impacts is knowing where we stand in terms of our cybersecurity posture. And with that review, knowing that we have a lot of room for improvement, this is where that review is very helpful in identifying gaps and weaknesses in where we stand in terms of cybersecurity.
The CMM gave us a clear picture as to where we are and what sort of things that we need to do. It helps us identify where our strength is in regards to communication in terms of incident response to an attack or something of that sort. So definitely it gives us a clear guidance on what we expect to see.
We were part of a Commonwealth program where we were introduced to the CMM. From the policy decision-making perspective, we see a great value as we were trying to begin our journey into trying to develop our cybersecurity ecosystem. In a way, the CMM report, more so the recommendations, are quite crucial. We see what needs to be done. So we have more control on the things that we want to prioritize and then try to work with our development partners in implementing such recommendations.
So OCSC has had the honour of working in the Pacific for over 6 years now, so we've got to know the community quite well. After we've conducted CMM and helped the country identify their own priorities for capacity building, we then worked with the country through a roadmap process to take those priorities and plot them across a timeline on what's achievable for that country with the resources they have and the national priorities that they have in alignment with the cyber priorities.
It sequentially identifies what we need to do, and in planning, sequence is important. For some of these developing and small island nations, that's the kind of support we need. If we haven't clearly mapped out or sequenced what needs to be done, this review process does that for us.
The roadmap and even the recommendations in the CMM will inform greatly the work that we're doing with cybersecurity strategy. What I think came out of that whole exercise was my relationship with my stakeholders on the ground, and I think that's very important.
I believe the roadmap will get us more focused in terms of building our cybersecurity capacity, and that roadmap will be almost like a strategy for us to be more efficient. It'll also assist with donor priorities. That roadmap will also identify to donors the requirement we need.
It's an assessment tool that we need to have, and I think with these assessments, it's not a one-time thing. And I think that's something that we understand. It needs to be relooked at. There were various priorities. In 2015, the priorities may have shifted, and that's what this assessment needs to look at. And also a lot of work has been done. We now need to assess, okay, what are the gaps? And so we see a lot of new and emerging technologies and the various sort of policy frameworks that need to be in place. In the assessment is really looking at what have we done since that time and what more should we be doing and what other considerations should the government be looking at to ensure that we're adapting to the various challenges that we're seeing.
In a way, 2019 becomes our baseline. So reassessment will be good so we can see what further we can improve. But on that, it also will tell us from 2019 and at this point in time, what progress have we made. So I think in a way, we are self-evaluating ourselves.
When we identify the areas that there is a big need for us to address, then we can all work collaboratively. We need that coordinated approach. If you are addressing cybersecurity as regionally for all countries in the Pacific, and we need a proper coordination in terms of CMM review so that we know where we stand, and also we know the issues that we need to address, and therefore organize meetings for us to go and address them.